Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Our current session focuses on social media and change in language. I hope and expect by the end of this session you would be able to understand the role of social media in the language change that is taking place all across the globe on different levels such as semantic, syntactic, and grammatical levels. Well, my dear students, this particular session does not focus on orthographic changes. It does not focus on spelling changes as per se. Rather, it focuses on certain other aspects of changes that occur in language or that have occurred in language, because of the impact of social media. And of course, in this case, the examples that we would use would be of English because this is one of the major languages that is used on social media. So we are going to talk about phonological changes, we are going to talk about syntactic aspects of these changes, and of course we are going to discuss some semantic changes as well. Well, my dear students, with social media and technology expanding daily, students and the general public, they are beginning to embrace shortened text speak forms apart from the overall, as a part of the overall trends that are taking over the whole social media community. This raises certain questions. The first and the foremost question that we would consider is grammar going extinct? Is grammar ending up? Are we not going to use grammar or syntax anymore? Is it okay for us to use structures loosely and the way we want to use them? So, with this reference, is social media at the center of this whole grammatical error issue? Whether the kind of complaints that we receive from teachers that the grammatical structures, the syntactic structures of the language of the students, of the learners is not correct. Is social media solely to be blamed for that, or are there other reasons? These are the questions for us to ponder over. Well, when it comes to social media lingo and teachers, grammar is one of the major issues. But, how does social media affect that? When we look at the use of language on different social mediums, when we look at different websites, interactive websites, for example, when we look at its use on Facebook or Twitter, etc., what we notice is that in the speedy process of communicating and what we may call urgency of communicating, shortened forms are used, which means the creators of these texts that are sent or that are used for interaction on these different sites, they skip the structural parts of the sentences and thus just use the content words that they want to convey. If we look at the overall scenario of chat rooms and social networking sites, actually they are in a way the practices there, they are encouraging children to write incorrect sentences. And in fact, this change that is taking place in communication is not only noticed on now the social media platforms, it has gone beyond that. And as teachers and as academics, we notice children writing or students writing, incorrect grammatical sentences and making, mistakes or making errors in the syntactic structures. In this regard also, use of acronyms, abbreviations, and neologisms. It has grown up around technologically mediated communication, and within this community it is understood very well. And the interesting aspect from the sociolinguistic point of view is that it has spread out of it into the outer world as well. So, for example, the acronyms like LOL, that is laughing out loud, TGIF, for example, thank God it's Friday, or ROFL, for example, rolling on the floor with laughter, or RIP, that is rest in peace, or BRB, be right back. I think we all are familiar with these, and it is very interesting that we can notice the younger generation using these in, outside the virtual interaction community and using them in their everyday life communication as well. Also, there are significant examples of new meanings for common words. For example, the word friend, the word like, the word status, their meanings have changed in this virtual context. So, to friend and to unfriend, the grammatical categories have also changed. What was a noun has become now a verb as well. It is used as a verb as well. So we friend people and we unfriend people as well. So, on the other hand, if you look at the screen, the second example of like is vice versa. For example, to like something or to like somebody, like was used as a verb in the English language. But today, how many likes you have got on Facebook, for example. So here use of like or likes becomes a noun. So, the grammatical categories of words are shifting and new meanings are attached to words. For example, status and wall. A couple of decades back, the word wall meant probably a wall in your home or in some, building structure. But today, it has been connoted with completely different meanings in the social media context. So, the nature of the words and the meanings semantically that are attached to them. So, this is the semantic change that is taking place. And alongside, the lexical categories, the categories of words, their syntactic positioning in the language setup is being changed. Verbs to adverbs, adverbs to adjectives, adjectives to nouns. This is what is happening. Other words like page and profile, I am sure you are all aware of their use in the new media. There are some terms that have gathered new significance and new meaning, and this semantic change, and why I'm giving all these examples to you is to make you conscious of the process of semantic change in language as a very, very speedy process. If you look at the development of English from the Old English through the Middle English times till today, we notice this semantic change, but the speed of this semantic change has never ever been that fast as we find it today. And it is only over a decade or so that all these words have gathered new meanings. So, for example, viral today is anything shared across social networks that gets passed along rapidly. And I hope you would have noticed that the word has crossed the boundaries of this virtual community interactivity, and it is also used now in this sense, in the everyday conversations. A platform today is a system that manages content. Authenticity is used to describe real people behind blog posts and other social profiles. So, words are gathering new semantic dimensions. And, look at the example of influence, the word influence, for example. An individual's importance online is now measured by, the clout score and the measurement of online influence. So, these new meanings are shared within these virtual communities by all the people. Now, it is significant that there are certain social aspects of these practices. The practical aspects of these practices are that they are influencing, the lives of people otherwise outside this whole process as well. There are a lot of words that are added, and their semantic categories are also shifted. For example, if you look at the screen, you can see the word trending. That is a word or phrase that is popular on Twitter at this time point. B2B, that is business to business. In the same way, B2C, that is business to consumer or customer. Hashtag has emerged as a new word. HubSpot defines a hashtag as a word or string of characters that starts with a number sign. So these terminologies, what I would call a jargon. A new jargon, a whole new jargon has emerged within the language, and this is the jargon of the internet language. In the same way, search engine optimization is a term that is used. So, different terms are introduced and their abbreviations are also introduced. By the way, this is the process of organizing your website to give it the best chance of appearing near the top of search engine rankings when they are ranked. And the last example that I would give you is of the word traffic. So far, it has always been used in English language to refer to the movement of vehicles and to control the movement of vehicles on the roads. But today the context has completely changed, and this refers to the visitors that visit a website. So, with the changing times, due to, the impact of social media, as I have earlier said, a whole new jargon has emerged in language, in English language especially. And, the language change in terms of semantic change, orthographic change, syntactic change that is taking place, all these aspects show an unprecedented change today.